Thank you. Happy to see you all here. I'm hoping you're having fun so far. It's going to be a long day, but you'll remember it for a while. I'm Mike Stout. I'm a conference coordinator here, and I'm now currently a first-year dental student, and the conference really helped me get to where I am today. And because of that, I came back to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Patrick J Furillo Jr. He's the Dean of the University of the Pacific Arthur A. Dugoni School of Dentistry. And he's also the president of the International Federation of Dental Educators and Associations. Additionally, Dr. Ferrillo has served many leadership roles, including those with the American Dental Education Association and acting as their president in 1999. Prior to working as a dean at Pacific Dugoni, Dr. Ferrillo helped open up the University of Las Vegas, Nevada School of Dental Medicine, serving as dean there, and prior to that was the dean for 16 years at the Southern Illinois University of Dental Medicine. Dr. Ferrillo has 30-plus years of dental education experience, and his focus is to improve global health by advancing oral health. So please join me with a round of applause and introducing and welcoming Dr. Patrick J Furillo.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you all. I know what I'm here to do is stand between you and probably the more important thing. I think you have an admissions panel later on, and that's probably why many of you are in here to look about admissions. But I'm here to talk not about dentistry or oral health care, as you would think I would be. And I'm not going to talk, which I think is, you'll hear more about that for those of you who are interested, I think tomorrow on the program. And I'm not here to talk about the great dental school, the greatest dental school in the country, and that's the Arthur A. Dugoni School of Dentistry. So I'm not going to talk about either one of those, but I'm going to talk about healthcare and why you're here. Now, I was going to start out and say this is all about passion. And by the way, I'm not going to give you a PowerPoint presentation. 9 a.m. Saturday morning has got to be the worst time to be able to talk and give any kinds of information. I commend you all, actually, for being here. I can't imagine 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning when I was your age what I was doing, but one thing was, and I wasn't at a conference, I probably was still sleeping. But what that tells me about you all, by being here, is that you have passion. And you have a passion for health care. And some of you are here for various areas of health care, but I'm going to get to a point in a minute that they all have a common thread. Whether you're going to go to medicine, dentistry, nursing, veterinary medicine, whatever aspect of healthcare you're going to have, you all have one thing in common. And that one thing in common is the patient. And that's why you're here. And I wanted to emphasize that and continue to emphasize that because it's going to get tough along the way. It will get incredibly tough. Many of you have already gone down the road partially and know how difficult it is to this particular point. And when you get into your chosen profession, health profession, it's going to get even a little tougher. And there will be days, days when you're saying, why am I doing this? Why am I here? You'll be sitting in some class or some lab or doing your rounds and going, you know, I don't know what this is all about anymore. I mean, I remember sitting in dental school and sitting in there, and in those days, it was not a very great experience. We were treated inhumanely as students. I would sit there and go, why am I doing this? I don't need this. And some days you'll want to give up. Just interesting last night, and I was telling Michael that I got a text from one of my graduates back at SIU. By the way, he mentioned 30 years. I started as a dean at 20. You don't believe that, do you? But I'm starting my 29th year as a dean. And this student, one of my early ones, I can remember him, was struggling. And he had a bad experience with a group of faculty, which was very, very common in dental school in those days. And we tried to eliminate that. And at University of Pacific, we certainly don't tolerate faculty treating students in less than a humanistic manner. But he was ready to give up. He said, I've had it. I'm quitting. And we spent a couple days together on and off, talking about it. And I convinced him, I said, look, Rich, go through it. You can always quit afterwards, but you're this far along. Give it going, keep it going. And he wrote to me, I hadn't heard from him in years, and how they come out of the clear blue, and said, I'm going to be with my family in San Francisco. Can we have dinner? Because I am incredibly grateful for what you did. And I'm not doing this for my own ego, but this was the point. You changed that person's life when he was especially ready to chuck it all. So he is very glad that he stayed. He was passionate, but he was passionate about the profession, and he stayed. And he said, you also made another comment, and I want to get to this, is why we're all in this. It's the patient. I tell him, and I tell our students today, you're here because you're going to help and make a difference in people's lives. Whatever you do, even in the areas of research, if you go into the road of research and health research, you're going to change people's lives. That's all about. You're going to make that difference. By the discovery of knowledge, you're going to change lives. By directly providing care, you're going to change people's lives. Great influence on them. I tell our students, you know, in oral health care, putting a smile on a person, you can't believe how it can change their life. Just by able to smile, because before they weren't able to, because they were embarrassed. You changed them. You gave them confidence to go out there and conquer the world. And there's other aspects of it, but that's one of it. So you're going to make a difference in people's lives. And think about that. You're probably here because someone touched your life. A doctor, you may have it in the family, a dentist, whomever, but you had someone who made a difference in your life. And that's why often you're here. If you're here because it's all about money, and you got to think of that, don't get me wrong, but then you won't be enjoying the career as much as you should be. Put that patient first, and the money will come second. And if you put the money first, it's not necessarily, the patient not often is first, and you don't get the thrill of being a healthcare provider, if you put that in focus. I can look at stories when I was still practicing, and I'm an endodontist by specialty. You know what that is? Probably not. Some of you do. I specialize in root canals. What an exciting thing to do. What a great thing of talk about a patient coming in like you all early in the morning, and what they're going to have to do is face me, and I'm going to do a root canal on them. But you know what? It's that feeling afterwards when that patient, and I often relate it to that older woman, been up all night long, and I think of many cases of that, who had been been in pain, didn't sleep for days because of the pain. And you got her into the office, and you put her in, you numbed her up, and she immediately felt relief because of the anesthetic. And then you did the root canal, and it was painless. And at the end of the appointment, she gets up and hugs you, embraces you, says, "Doctor, thank you so much." You know what you feel like doing? You feel like going out to the front desk and say, "Tear up the bill. I've been paid handsomely for doing that procedure by just that touch." And that's, again, what it is all about. And you'll have many, many, many experiences like that in your career, whatever avenue you go, into the practice of healthcare, research, and into academics. In the academic side, it's seeing wonderful people like Mike and others grow and mature into the profession. Those are the rewards that you always get in it. So, again, put that patient first. Never forget that, and enjoy it. Now, you will hear the challenges. You know, you read all about the issues of healthcare and how difficult it is as a provider, and you hear that. And it is. And you're going to probably hear more about it while you're here. There are other challenges. The healthcare system, what it's going to be like, who knows? I can't predict what it's going to be like. But it's worth it, no matter what happens, if, again, put the patient first. This is the reward. How difficult it's going to become. We'll complain how government is controlling healthcare and I can't practice my profession as I want to. Insurance companies are doing it, hospitals are doing it, and I'm out of control. You know, you are in control. Maybe not as much as the practitioner was 20 years ago, but you know what? Life changes. Get on with it. Brace the change, but never lose sense of what you are here to do. So there'll be challenges, and you'll hear some people, why do you want to go into medicine? You know, you got all this hassles of insurance companies, blah, 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 blah. And as I say, you go back and say, you know what? I want to make a difference in spite of some of the challenges that are occurring within the system. You know that more and more your services are going to be needed. Never forget that. There will always be patients. So if you're worried about that, there are going to be plenty of patients. I was just reading statistics the other day, how the population is aging and how people are living a lot longer than they were when I was born. I saw statistics that every person born, 1/3 of the people born today will live to 100. That's huge. You as practitioners are going to have to be working with some of those people. There actually is a sign saying there's someone living today that will live to 150. That's incredible. But think of all the needs that they're going to have as they progress. Obviously, people are living longer, but their health care needs grow and get more expensive. There's no doubt about it. And that's the balance. How do we take care of an aging population like myself and contain the cost? And that's what it's all about. But again, I'm going to emphasize it is all worthwhile. And just keep in mind the one thing, as I conclude here, it's the patient. It is all about them. It is not about you. It's not about me. It's about them. And so I encourage you to keep that going, keep that thought in your mind. And I really wish you the best. I am very glad that I chose my career. I chose oral health for various reasons, and you don't want to hear the story. We'll be here all day. I chose academics for various reasons. Incredibly rewarding. The fact that I got that story, or that person contacted me yesterday, and I'm going to be leaving here now to go down to San Antonio to our national meeting, where I will be meeting with a lot of our alums over the next day or two. And they're grateful for what, in our case, Pacific Dugoni provided for them, because it has given them, they've been able to meet their passion or their dream. And that's what it's about. So keep that in mind. I hope that in some cases, most of you will probably go into medicine, but still will cross paths. Or those of you who are thinking in dentistry, certainly we will cross paths. In fact, what we will cross paths in the future, because you will hear, is how all the health professionals have to continue to work together better and no longer segmented care. And so we're going to have to learn to work together closely. So wish you the very best. Have a great conference. And I envy you being young and looking at you. I do. I wish I had my kind of money. I was your age. But I do wish you very well, because it is an incredibly bright future, exciting times for you all. You are bright and gifted. You have the passion. And I know you will do incredibly well and do incredibly well for the citizens of wherever you're going to be. Thank you.